What up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Remember that next base dash cam we were talking about? Oh, they back too, and they took my advice, and they upgraded their discount code, not only giving you guys, the listeners, more, but also making it simpler. Next Base is the world's leading dash cam brand. They are now available in the U.S. You've seen the crazy Russian dash cam videos. You know the ridiculous, stupid, and dangerous things that can happen on the road, or maybe you just want to share something on social media. Next Base is more than just a dash cam. The Series 2 range includes 5 models packed with exciting features, stunning image quality, 1440p resolution, and an IPS touchscreen. Don't fear parking lot hit and runs. Intelligent parking mode detects and records any movement around your vehicle while your vehicle is parked. There's an SOS feature, potentially life savings, with immediately alerting emergency services if it detects a real problem. There's cabin cameras, it gives you this lovely peace of mind. It's good to have, man. Evidence. It's evidence. And here's the deal. Code 20SMOKING on Amazon. That's 20SMOKING will get you 20% off the entire Next Base dash cam range on Amazon. Code 20SMOKING gets you 20% off all Next Base dash cams on Amazon. You heard that? 20SMOKING, 20SMOKING, 20% off all Next Base dash cams on Amazon. Get them, folks. They're sweet. I've got one. And speaking of that, the Brio Beardscape, also sweet. I also have one. This is a great buzzer, trimmer, beard trimmer, and I ended up there after trying all the other trimmers available normally, commercially. There's always something. The Brio Beardscape is the one that does it all because it's portable, it's light, it's battery powered, but the battery it's got is a beast. It lasts for a real long time. Same, the motor, also quite beast. It cuts through my Syrian thick fur, which might be slightly TMI, but that's neither here nor there. But it's got a battery display so you know exactly how much shave time remains, a ceramic blade that you don't have to oil as often as stainless steel. It stays nice and sharp, and a handy carrying case. Upgrade your face, folks. The Brio Beardscape rules. Go to Brio for Life. That's BRIO, the number 4life.com, Brio4life.com. Use code SMOKING, SMOKING, at checkout at Brio4life.com. Upgrade your shave, upgrade your face, look good like me. All right, on this episode of the podcast, we've got Art Cervantes and Layne Skelton, 2 of the 4 founders of RADWOOD. They are in studio following their San Francisco show a couple weeks ago. And, man, we're talking about cars that are on the come up, cars that are on the way out, cars they've never seen at a RADWOOD event that they would like to get to a RADWOOD event, some of our favorite 80s and 90s cars, as well as, what the future looks like for RADWOOD. So it's a good show. Love having these guys on. Art and Layne from RADWOOD on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
If a fucking company comes, holy shit, it's got a red bezel. Like, that's the story of the fucking year. I mean, literally, the story of the year for Rolex was like Pepsi bezel, new band. You know what I mean? So like, So
it's like doing one car for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yes. Hello. It's the fucking Smoking Tire Podcast. What's happening, beaches? How y'all doing? Art and Layne of RADWOOD.
We're tired.
Art Cervantes, Layne Skelton.
That's
What's
right.
happening?
Yep.
What's happenings? You're
literally,
tired?
Yeah, literally
So
everything
tired.
is happening.
I'm fucking tired too. I feel you.
tired.
I feel you on this. I've had a long day, but you guys just did San Francisco.
We did.
My own Vinny Russo, our own Vinny Russo, did an up and back overnight for that one in the queue.
Yeah, I actually invited him to the after party, and he's like, "I'm out." Literally showed up for the event and bounced.
Well, first, he doesn't really know what a party is.
Oh,
He's
right.
not. He doesn't drink. So he's basically me in high school. He likes driving so much that he is happy to DD for fucking anybody and anything at any time.
That's a good friend.
Yeah, and I don't know. I forget why he had to get home, but yeah, he did it up and back to San Francisco from LA. That sucks.
That's kind of gnarly.
It's kind of gnarly.
Yeah, to leave right after that show.
Yeah.
I had to go I live in Santa Cruz, and we did the podcast. I mean, we did the show in San Francisco, and I had to drive home that night, and I was like almost dying.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, this is not fun.
So how did it go? Was it a good show?
Yeah, it was a great show.
Is there? I'm sure on your Instagram, Radwood Official.
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff
on the gram.
Mm-hmm. It went well.
This Chevy police car. What's the story on this fucking vet police car? Is that real?
That's real.
Is that like one of those dare cars that was confiscated from somebody?
See, what is the story with that one?
So I didn't actually probe, but we all guessed that there was a lot of cocaine in that car at one point, and it was seized probably in the early 80s and converted. And so, by the way, those NACA ducks that you're looking at, fake.
Well, of course they're fake. That's like a Greenwood hood.
Yeah.
And there's a body kit on it. Greenwood, I think, body kit, or possibly, probably Greenwood.
I mean, you look
and
at
the
those,
wing, but the light bar on top looks like a 2002 era Crown Vic light bar. It's sort of that flying V Mighty Duck shape.
Totally.
Yeah, so they probably just added it then.
Pretty fire though.
It's pretty dope. It sits really well. It's like actually a good looking.
Cars look good in grass. Grass really helps. It gives you like an inch and a half on the suspension. Did you guys, when you guys were growing up, did you guys have did you guys have a dare car that was like a police car confiscated from some drug dealer?
I don't think so.
We had a couple of them. They were parading around for a while.
What were they?
One was an Isuzu Rodeo on rims, which was not particularly cool. The other one was a Viper.
And
they made a really big deal. It was like a 95 Viper. They made a really big deal out of the Viper. They paraded the fuck out of it. And a part of me at the time was like, that's cool. And the other time was like, wonder if that guy got convicted or if this was like some sort of civil forfeiture thing where they just were like, ooh, a Viper.
Very likely.
Let's get this guy.
Yeah, we didn't have any of those, but we did have, I remember the 5.0 notchback highway patrol cars in like going over Highway 17 where I lived.
Yeah.
And then I went to school in San Luis Obispo and they had Volvo like 850 Turbo.
Fuck out of here.
Cars.
Really?
But they weren't the cops, they were the highway patrol.
Really?
And that was a weird one. You're like, why? And they had like 3 of them or something.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
I wonder why that
Isn't that a weird choice?
That's a very weird choice. That reminds me of like, you know how like Aspen always used Saabs.
Yeah.
Like that was like, that's one of those kind of things. Like there must be in the culture of San Luis Obispo. For sure.
Yeah.
Do you think San Luis Obispo, is it worth looking?
I don't know.
Check it out.
I don't know how they get it. Like, it seems like it would be all American cars, right? Like
that's what I thought. Yeah, it's Saab GM maybe. Maybe there's a GM Saab thing.
Oh, and Volvo was Ford at the time.
I don't know.
I don't see Volvo police cars in anything coming up quickly, but
it might have been it might not have been 850. It might have been S70s, which was like the year after, but still boxy. Still the same style.
Those have aged well. S70s.
Yeah, they have.
S70s are nice.
By the way, I did want to mention something real quick. Going back to Viper, as we're rolling in here, you've talked about that beat to shit Viper that's in your hood.
Oh, did you see it?
We saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never seen it.
Was it parked over by the school?
No, he was driving like basically right up to the stop sign there.
It's fucking ragged as hell, isn't it?
The caved in headlight or whatever's
fucked. Wait, I think
great.
Did Kristen write a story as like world's worst Viper? I think I fucking love this thing. Oh, no, that's not it.
Inland Taipan. Is it like a high mileage car too? I can't remember.
This is the grimiest Dodge Viper ever. That's the story.
Yeah. And yellow headlights.
Yeah, it's really sad. It has 194. Well, probably more. When I saw it, these are my pictures. This is from over a year ago when I sent these pictures to Kristen, and it had 194,000 miles on it at that time. Now in this picture, this was the first time I'd seen it with the new seat covers, because you should have seen the seats before. The seats before had foam coming out of them and were just completely fucked. This guy got some of these like cat skin joints.
Oh god,
these things.
He needs.
This is way better than it was before, but yeah, it's really ragged on the outside.
And those interiors aren't great to begin with. So
no, they're not.
He needs a speed lingerie to cover up some of that damage.
But this dude, he street parks it. He fucking doesn't. He's literally going to drive it until the fucking wheels fall off.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, he got his money's worth.
Totally.
Yeah,
which was not much, right? I mean, how much were those things new?
I mean, 50, 60 grand maybe. Yeah. But if he bought that new, I mean, he could still get probably 8 for it.
Yeah,
dude, I know, right?
Didn't Vinny buy one?
Yeah, Vinny had the $10,000 Viper that he bought that was not nearly this bad.
Yeah.
It was, the paint was kind of fucked because it had sat outside, and I think it had thrown a valve or something. Like the motor was pretty fucked. Like it was running like on 7 cylinders, but the compression was still good. So he had the heads remachined and had new valves put in. And I think he bought the car for 10. He got into it for 16 or 17. He ended up selling it in decent shape for 22 or 23.
Okay.
He did okay on the car.
He did fine, yeah.
Yeah, and because he had a buddy's body shop like repaint it or at least touch up a big portion of it, and he did like one of his crazy detail jobs on it. Vinny's fucking real handy. It's good to have someone like that living in your house,
especially when you own one of these, right?
Yeah, he can work on Countach's.
He can't.
No, he can.
Okay, no.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. He's not an expert or anything, but like we've done a few things in the garage with it. Like
he's not scared.
He is not scared.
That's
not
good.
at all. And I come home from fucking business trips and Vinny's like done shit at the house. Like it's not just that he's clean and that he like doesn't leave the garage door open. Like I got home from a trip and my snow tire setup was mounted on the wall.
Whoa.
Like on the block wall in my garage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and I'll come back and like I was like, did you put new fog lights on my car? And like, yeah, I thought it needed it. Like, just like shit like that. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Vinny Russo's the fucking man.
That kind of, he's a good like car collector manager type, I think, for that kind of personality. So I was just up in Seattle. Well, we were all actually up in Seattle, Tacoma area for our RADWOOD up there earlier, or not this past weekend, but the one before, 2 weeks ago. And we visited a collection up there, and I guess, is it a car handler? Is that what you call
the
them?
Dirtfish collection.
No, the other one.
You're talking about the other collection.
I was thinking John Shirley's collection. Are you familiar with this collection?
No, who's that?
If you type in John Shirley car collection, you'll see he's one of the OGs at Microsoft, and his collection is pretty insane.
Oh yeah, this seems like amateur hour collecting.
Yeah, no big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah, he has
nice
something
building.
like 3 overall Pebble Beach winners.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's got pretty much everything you see there is extremely significant.
Oh my god, I love the fucking Daytona Spider with the he got 2 Daytona Spiders.
Doesn't he have a white GTO?
He has a white GTO, the only one that left the factory that way. He's all sorts of fancy stuff, but his guy, is basically what you're describing because like
a collection manager.
Yeah, and he's just like all about. He's kind of operates pretty independently, but he knows what the owner of this collection wants and needs. So
well, I know Ralph Lauren. He's a family friend, and he has a staff, like a full. It's like 4 people who work over there, and there's a manager, and there's a mechanic, and there's a fucking detailer, and there's a guy who just cleans up, and that would be a good gig. I think Vinny would get bored doing that because he's a smart guy and likes to work. But yeah, I mean, if he had less ambition, he could be like one guy's little.
Totally. So one particular thing that I kind of was funny to me was I asked about budget, which is a silly question to ask, I guess, in this scenario.
If you're this, here's his white GTO. If you're this fucking rich, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not, the budget is whatever.
Exactly. It's literally whatever you need to get done, just get it done. And so he has like one of the largest like Ferrari memorabilia collections around, and he was missing a couple things. I can't remember what they were, and I'm like, okay, so do you have like a budget that you work within to figure this? He's like, no, we just knew we needed them, and it's basically up to me to make sure that they're there. So
that's very funny. It's nice. I mean, look, working for people who are fucking unlimited rich is real nice. That's a good way to live.
Yeah,
it's not very realistic.
I know, right? Yeah, that.
I plan to be managing 100 people's collections right across the street at Westside Collector Car Storage.
Yeah. So how's that going, man?
I was just over there. They're doing the wood framing for the offices, which is awesome, and they're doing this fire sprinkler installation, which is awesome.
Sweet.
I had to go shuffle some vehicles over. I'm already fucking hoarding cars over there in the basement. The Delica's over there. Yes.
Sweet.
Just waiting for my tag.
Nice. What color is it?
It's like gray. It's like that regular
Delica gray.
Delica gray.
Yeah. We saw a blue one rolling around today.
Yeah, there's a couple of them by the beach. Yeah. And they're finishing the roof this week, which I'm really excited about.
Sweet.
And I think we're gonna be fully indoors by the end of August, which I'm excited about. So that's good. And then I keep saying October 1st, but it might be the 7th or the 15th. I don't know. It's trying to time the opening of a business with the completion of a building while also learning how to build that building and learning how to run that business and running another business at the same time is kind of a lot.
So when you started, when you like broke ground, what was your completion date?
This is embarrassing.
Like,
like end of August, probably.
Oh, you're on it.
So you're kind of.
We're only like probably a month and a half beyond.
That's not embarrassing at all. I mean, you're.
No, I'm not embarrassed about that.
Okay.
I'm not embarrassed about being behind
okay.
schedule. Did I say embarrassed?
Yeah, you said that's embarrassing.
Okay, maybe I did.
But you like.
Yeah, all right.
But usually,
fine.
but usually, that would be like, August, and then it would be August of next year.
Of next year? No,
Yeah.
actually, no. The permitting process and the paperwork and
was
the
the
getting
one.
started took a year. And I didn't think it would take quite that long.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then the digging of the hole, and what to do when you dig a hole in LA was shockingly complicated.
So the first part where like it's kind of like small incremental.
I thought you just dig a
things.
fucking hole and put the dirt in the truck and then it's gone and that's it.
Yeah.
Turns out that if the dirt is dry, you can dispose of it for $0. But if the dirt is wet, it costs you $1,000 a truck to dispose of it. And so I learned that it's cheaper to have two guys with huge excavators stir dirt for 2 weeks straight.
Oh, to dry it.
Then to dry it so the trucks could take it away dry.
Wow.
It's cheaper to do that
And
than to try and get rid of
Who
wet
checks
dirt.
the dryness level?
When you take it to the place when
And
they
they're
get
like,
there.
oh, this is like
Yeah, because what happens with dirt is like I had dirt to dispose of.
Yeah.
Someone else needs dirt.
Yeah.
So there's sort of this, okay, you take my dirt for free as long as it's good dirt. If it's heavy, shitty, wet dirt, then they can't take it. And then it has to be incinerated. And that's what costs money. So if you get to the place that's supposed to take your dry dirt, you get there and it's wet, they send you back.
Oh, that talk about costs. So,
And you can spend all day tilling the dirt with these excavators. Then you go home at 5 o'clock, and it's damp and cold overnight. The next morning, you start the fuck all over.
That's
so
brutal.
you're back, and then you kind of step back
It gets
a little
wet
bit,
again.
and then you go again.
It gets wet overnight.
So there's got to be, everyone has their own industry like jargon, right? Like there's got to be a term for that. Like, what am I doing today? Like if you're stirring,
They called it tilling. They called it tilling dirt.
Tilling dirt.
Just like
Just
you would
tilling.
on a farm.
All right.
It's fucking ridiculous. Can we go back to Radwood? It makes
do
me
it.
depressed
Yeah,
to talk
let's do
about
it.
how much time we spent tilling fucking dirt.
Dude, it's all good. I mean,
So what were some of your favorites from San Francisco? And then we'll talk about the bigger picture because that's on your mind fresh, right?
Definitely is.
Yeah, there was a lot of standouts, not super like valuable cars, if you will, just kind of
Not a
cool,
big-
fun, obscure stuff. You know?
Oh, really? The weird stuff came out?
The weird stuff
We
came
had
out.
a Matra,
We
Oh,
had
those are weird.
Matra.
3-seater, really weird with a what is it? What kind of engine? Renault.
It's a
Renault.
mid-engine.
Isn't Matra French?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, the French would do a 3 across.
Yeah.
Totally.
They're like,
We
you
had-
could have a girl in the middle, she'd jerk you both off together.
I like it. She would play with your baguettes.
Yes.
We had a Zender Fox. How's that? Two-door Zender Fox.
I don't know if have I ever seen a Zender Fox?
How about the McLaren?
Is it a Sport Ziggo?
I don't know. Just look at maybe.
Zender
see what that looks like.
Fox.
It's a VW Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Volkswagen Fox.
Yeah.
But we
Volkswagen.
also had the Fox Body Mustang.
Oh, like with a body kit on it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, a Fox with a fucking Zender body kit
Yeah, there
like
you go.
this?
How obscure is that? But that's a freaking wagon version of that. But I don't know if there are any pictures of the one that came to our show. But it was pretty awesome. It had like some turbo fanny kind of looking wheels on it.
Fanny.
Turbo fanny?
Turbo
Yeah.
fanny.
Look up this car, or go McLaren M81 Turbo.
It's a Capri, right? That's the McLaren wide body Capri.
Yeah, so this thing.
Is this a
showed up.
homologation race car? Oh, this did
How's
the
that?
guy? Didn't this sell on Bring a Trailer?
I don't know. It was
Yeah, one
pretty-
of these sold on Bring a Trailer
It's-
like I don't know 4 or 5 months ago.
It might have been that one. It was a barn find. It was kind of
Yes.
like a little tattered. Like this one looks really nice.
Did
but,
they street drive it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it was only a race car.
Yeah, there's 10 ever built or something. I think 7.
And it's a turbo 4-cylinder?
So I think this was a 6. So that there was the 4 Cosworth powered one too, which is a different car. I thought that's what it was when it rolled in, but it turns out I don't know. I glanced at the engine bay real quick, but
I have no idea, dude. I can't.
I
speak
love
to
the
this.
Ford Mustang McLaren crossovers, like the ASC McLaren.
Yeah, that's what this
you
is.
must have had at least a couple of those.
oh yeah, they've been around. I don't know if we had them this time around, but we've seen them before.
Oh, we
for
had
sure.
a really crazy NSX with a Japanese body kit.
So yeah,
Oh,
Radisson
was that
show.
the white thing?
The white thing, yeah.
That thing was fucking heinous.
It's bizarre.
How do we find
Dude,
that?
BSM wide body NSX, and it's one of 2 in the world. One's
it
in the
was
US.
so ugly. This was it.
It's like
Oh, no,
There's
it's
a
a
picture
terrible
from our
picture.
show right up top.
Oh, they're
right
right
there
there.
in the middle.
There you go.
This one?
No,
This
right,
one?
Third to the right.
Boom.
Yeah, that one. Or
that's the dealer that's selling
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's
Whatever. We'll give him.
But
We'll
it's
give him
like-
the picture.
It's like a melted.
Fuck me, is
Moby
that bad?
Moby Dick penis
It's
kind of thing.
extraordinary how easily it is to ruin a car.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. I always thought, like, whenever a body kit company or whatever comes up with something that isn't atrocious, it's like, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
But this is not it. This
You know
is bad.
what this reminds me of, and talk about companies that do weird shit, is a Mitsuoka. Are you
Oh,
familiar?
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Those are they look like anime monsters, you know, and I guess maybe that's the appeal. I mean, this looks like sort of like a whale, like a melted whale penis
Or like
monster.
the current FRS front end or whatever.
You know what? Actually, if you took just from the fuel cap, which is the C-pillar, the last bit, just the rear wheel and the ass, is
the
very
rear
Zonda.
three-quarter
Very
is
Zonda.
kinda
Did you
cool,
see the
yeah.
rear? Try to pull up a rear shot.
rear shot
The rear
better?
shot's actually pretty rad. It's got quad round taillights.
But that did win Radisson show.
Oh, there it is, right there. Bam.
It's better. It's better from the back.
The
Yeah.
diffuser is pretty whack though. But
Yeah, I like 3/4. It's like, yeah, there you go. See,
You know, I can
Uh,
see what someone was trying to do,
Yeah.
but the fact is, it didn't work.
it's just so.
I can see how it's Radisson's show, though.
Yeah.
It's so of the era, right? It's so
That's-
ridiculous.
I think
Yes.
that's the hard thing when we're picking these awards, you know, like Radisson show.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a clean Countach
No.
or whatever. It's something of the era that's like kind of
No.
ridiculous
Yeah.
and just
you
like
want a Koenig special
Yes.
or a Strosik 911
Yeah.
or some fucking oddball thing that they charged 100% markup for back then, and now you're looking at it and going, "Oh god."
yeah,
For sure.
yeah, it's not necessarily something I want or
Right.
we want or it's like or we thought was cool, but it's so period correct and so like of the era that we choose.
It's
that
all
car.
about weird body kits and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of body kits, our Radis Domestic for the first time was a truck, and we did have a Radis truck, but the Radis
No,
Domestic.
you had a that was Best in Show as a truck in LA. The mini truck
Oh,
was
yeah,
Best
we
in
did
Show.
Best in
that,
Show,
but
yeah.
Radis Domestic was a Shelby Dakota little truck V8. I mean,
I saw pictures with mint.
yeah, body
mint.
kit. I mean, that actually works, and the interior is so rad. It's got the Shelby, insert.
There's
fabric.
one in Venice that's a guy uses a daily, and
Oh, wow.
it's beat. It's
Dang.
real beat, and the Shelby's got it's so faded, and it's like it's there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's faded.
Wow.
And I kind of want it just like for that, but like, yeah, those things they're a little Shelby's Chrysler era is really
Totally, and in the same way that we're talking about these body kits, right? It's just kind of there it is. The white one is we got one of those.
And it was cherry and it was towing what was it towing?
The GLHS Shelby.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. And the whole pairing. I mean,
like
the fact that
I do like when you get a pairing like that.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
And the fact that someone actually this is something that someone treasures, right? It's just so interesting to me, and all of us really. That's why we chose it, and it's absolutely impeccable. I mean, just as you said, it's perfect. As was
I've
the
never
GLHS.
seen one that wasn't like in pretty terrible condition.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has
anyone brought the Shelby Durangos yet?
No,
Do you
those
remember
are
those?
those are gnarly looking.
They
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, those are gnarly looking. Yeah. Yeah, I do
The
remember
Shelby.
those.
Oop, I spelled it wrong. Don't fucking get me, people. I'm trying to type from across the room. This is not.
Yeah, that's
that has not aged
that's
well.
not good,
No,
dude.
no.
Nothing about this works 20
No.
years later.
That looks like pure Pep Boys, right? It's pretty crazy.
The irony is the original Durango design. itself hasn't aged too badly. If you can find one that's still
it's not
actually
bad.
driving.
You
but
know what I never understood with that
these
car?
wheels.
The bumper to body gap on that thing was like 3 inches. On the back, it was so ridiculous. I never understood it.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. Right there.
It's so weird.
That's like that weird body gap on the first 4 GTs that they could never quite line up, right?
Yeah.
God,
it's
Shelby. I was at Manhattan Beach Cars and Coffee on Saturday, which actually was an interesting show. It's run by some 18-year-olds. Like, shout out to the 18-year-olds who run Manhattan Beach Cars and Coffee.
Interesting.
Y'all are doing a good job. And they've got certain aspects of it very, very right. They've picked a parking lot. It's got a really nice restaurant in it. I'm very happy about that.
That's a good move.
When you can sit down and have a real nice breakfast, bonus
that's
points.
great. For sure.
And there was a Shelby Series 1 there.
Oh,
and
there
I
you go.
love seeing someone driving one of those on the street.
Talk about body gaps. Holy crap, dude.
Talk about wonky proportions.
For sure. Yeah.
So we went to Scottsdale this year, and we saw one of those at Barrett, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I remember we were with Warren, who does Radwood and DWA podcast with us, and he's like, this is like one of whatever, they're pretty rare.
I think they made 300.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
399
and I'm
maybe.
like,
one of 62. Less. Yeah, one of 62.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, this thing sucks. Look at this piece of shit. Like, the door is like, the window is literally like 2 inches from the top, and like water would just get in. I'm like, look at this piece of shit. We walk over one row, there's like 3 more of them. And then we go to like RM Sotheby's in Florida the next month, and there's 2 there.
No
We're
way.
like, what the fuck? Like, everyone's just offloading
Everyone's
them.
dumping them.
Yeah.
They're really bizarre.
Maybe
and they're
now's
like
the time to buy one for like $30,000.
Yeah,
Did you
maybe.
see what any of them sold for?
I didn't. I didn't.
They
even
actually
care
are
to
like
look.
really fast, right? Like
They have a version of the Oldsmobile Alero
That's right.
V8.
Supercharged,
like
I
a
think, right?
4-liter?
I don't know if it's supercharged.
I think it's supercharged, yeah. And I remember because I was reading about the suspensions. It's all like all aluminum suspension, like fully independent, and it's got I don't want to say if it's a full monocoque. I think it's an aluminum monocoque. It's all bespoke stuff, and it's actually pretty impressive.
Let's see. This was powered by a 4-liter 32-valve dual overhead cam Oldsmobile Aurora V8, 320 horsepower at 6,500 RPM, 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, 12.8 in the quarter, top speed 170. And it weighed 2,650 pounds.
Yeah,
That's pretty light.
Wasn't there a supercharged version though? I think they had 2 of them.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone put a supercharger on one. Let me see. ZF. Oh wait, here we go. Supercharged prototypes. How about this?
Oh, that's what's up.
There were supercharged prototypes with 600 horsepower. Wow.
On that thing.
I wonder. So have you seen one of these supercharged
No,
ones
I
before?
just
You read
remember.
about it?
Yeah, I just remember seeing that, and I was just thinking, like, can you imagine? That sounds pretty
Well,
gnarly.
look at this.
That's it.
Now that is what the fuck is up. That's the prototype with a brushed aluminum body.
Yeah.
And that looks the business.
So they were actually trying to.
I don't understand though. Like, isn't the front bumper all plastic? How did they?
Magic.
I don't know. Maybe they made one out of aluminum
Yeah,
just
maybe.
for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is
though.
what they
Look
were
at-
trying to do after they had ceased production, and so they were trying to revive
Oh,
it.
this was the bring it back thing, right?
Supercharged the beefy one, and with the right tolerances and everything. I mean, it looks pretty rad. I think it's a. I mentioned
the
this.
hand built prototype looks real nice.
Yeah.
The one that we
Yeah,
end up. This is
exactly.
what I'm worried about with the fucking vets.
Oh, yeah.
man.
I'm
Yeah.
worried that the one on stage looks great, and the ones you get at the ones sitting at the dealer aren't going
Yeah.
to look so nice.
Yeah.
I'm worried about it. I'm not saying that's definitively what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just that's what's happened every time in the past.
Well, that's the
Right, right.
thing. It's like I think we all get kind of blinded by the Corvette being like, oh, this thing looks rad. It looks kind of McLaren-ish and everything like that. It has its mid-engine. It has better, mid-engine proportions. It looks super car-esque for $60,000. It's still going to be kind of like a little.
The cheapness always finds a way to come through visually, whether it's wheel gap or smaller wheels, or you're not going to use the red Brembo brake calipers, with
the bad wheel designs,
right?
The shiny the piano black plastic on the front end of the car, just like
they find a way.
Yeah,
the one you see on stage. You'll be able to get one that looks like that.
Yeah.
But not for 60.
No.
You're looking at a $90,000 car. Yeah, basically. I think. Hypothesizing.
Rick of Radwood, we were actually at Pacific Northwest Radwood. The night before that show was the unveil or whatever, and he he signed up, to get. He was like,
did he really?
I want to get one. So he sends in his stuff, whatever. And the local dealership in San Francisco goes, okay, $5,000 down, fully refundable, and it's $30,000 over MSRP.
The fuck?
And he's like, fuck no.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
no.
Lates.
No, thanks.
So you're looking at like a base one for 90 at that point.
No, thank you. That's not happening. And that's what it's gonna be for 6 months. Yeah. But this is the Corvette. You're gonna be able to get.
That's the thing. They're gonna make a lot of them. It's
not, if you're okay not having the first one, and you probably don't want the first one.
Yeah.
I bet you they change the steering wheel after a year.
Yeah,
it's quite the design change. I mean, what were they trying to do? Was it trying to be LMP prototypey? I don't know.
I bet you. Let me get a picture of it. And I've been thinking about it because it's been bugging me. And
you know what I'm most offended by is the picture they sent out. It's like the really shittiest picture. It has like.
Where is it? This picture?
It's the one with the white. No, it was the one on the before the car was launched. It was a picture. It was just the Corvette with a white backdrop, and it was on like a pedestal, and it was kind of like cocked to the right. It was just a shitty picture. It had like, it was just a really bad picture, and I'm like, dude, this is why.
So it's not high res, but this is your idea. So. I hate two-spoke wheels. I hate square wheels, and this combines the two. But here's what I think they've done. I think you're supposed to put your entire hand above the spoke now. I don't. I think
because everything's dropped down.
Everything's dropped way down. So now your entire hands are above the spoke, sort of a la Ford GT. But I think they did that so that they didn't have to make smaller, thinner, like svelter spokes. I don't know. I don't know. Accusing them of sheer cheapness here is probably not correct, but like a third spoke would be so much better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. It's like, remember when C7 came out and everyone's like, oh, the interior is like leaps and bounds ahead. Now you go sit in a C7 and you're like, this thing sucks, dude.
Well, I also think that I think that the experience of, I'm going to say this the right way. Those first press cars that everybody was really impressed with, those C7 press cars in 2014.
They're prepped nicely?
Yeah, I think
kind of Shelby Series 1 style?
I think those were, if not entirely hand-built, like really fine-tooth combed. I've never been in any Corvette that was as nicely built as that. The C7,
the first one
that I drove on the launch in Monterey. That was the tightest Corvette I've ever driven.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like
it happens.
I don't know. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
I mean, you read about stuff, in the past where, cars are juiced up or suspension is tuned differently and like that type of stuff. And it does happen, right? And it's hard to really kind of catch that type of stuff.
It is. Unless if you're like, the guys who weigh cars, they catch manufacturers all the time lying about their weight. Yeah. Like, it would be really nice if we had the resources to like do that, but like we don't. I have to pretty much go off what I'm told.
Yeah.
On the occasion I can quote Motor Trend on the weight. I do. If it's a production car, not a pre-pro car, and I don't have any idea, but yeah, they've caught people like well off. Lambo is not very consistent with their quoted weights. McLaren is very picky. They're like, weigh the car. Like they're really like,
really?
Yeah. But then they'll also sometimes in an LT model send the press car to LA.
No air conditioning.
With no air conditioning.
Right. Not that green one?
The green, everyone, it's been 3 years. Everyone keeps talking about the green one. Totally. I think they learned their lesson. The 600 LT I had earlier this year had air conditioning. Oh, really? Yeah, I think they learned their lesson on that one.
Yeah, totally.
It's not worth the scale.
No, it
is
like,
all right, we believe you. If you take out air conditioning, it's 50 pounds. Fine.
Right.
Whatever.
We get it.
It's a minus 50.
Totally.
So, you guys, last year, what is this year 3 of RADWOOD?
Yep.
Okay.
Year 3. Yeah.
On year 2, you all quit your day jobs, right?
Basically.
Pretty much.
Yep.
And so now, how many shows do we have for 2019? Have there been and are left? What's the total number of shows?
So, we do like pop-up shows, which are smaller shows, but I think
Real shows.
Yeah, 12-ish is really a good number, right?
Yeah,
2019.
I think it's 10 to 12.
Yeah, because
I don't know the exact number.
We did a pop-up, which was a curated space at the Sonoma Speed Festival. I don't know if you heard of this event, which was
with somebody else, right? Who else?
That was our own. So we had our own space at the Sonoma Speed Festival, so
wasn't I there?
No, that was
last
you're
year.
You're talking about HooptyCon.
That was HooptyCon, right? That's different.
This is different. Yeah. So
thing,
this is a whole new endeavor. Basically, something along the lines more of like
Goodwood,
like the Goodwood type of experience. So it's a little more elevated, and so we had a presence there with about 20 cars, just like really the most iconic Group A stuff, some DTM like homologation cars. So Audi Sport Quattro, 190 Evolution 2, that type of stuff.
M3 Evo 2.
And so we do stuff like that where we'll kind of partner up with other people and, to try to tap into a new demo and all that. And then we have our own standalone shows. And our own main shows, we've done, let's see, in February we did Austin. Then we did New Jersey. We've done, what else have we done? I'm like spacing right now.
I know, huh? San Francisco, Pacific Northwest.
And we have Detroit. We have actually next month, August 11th, the one that we're really kind of focused on right now, All In, is going to be our first international event in the UK. So we're doing an event at Goodwood Motor Circuit. So we're taking over that event. So we've gone full circle.
Here's some Speed Festival
there you
pictures
go.
while we're doing.
Speed Festival is really
Carrera
cool.
RS, E30 M3, another Carrera something or other, Lancia Delta Integrale. Is that a roof?
Yeah,
that makes sense. Some 924 GT or 944 GT, NSX, 959. Ooh, that Evo rules.
That's
that's
Tommy Mackinnon.
Tommy Mackinnon, 6.5.
Great.
And then a
Cosworth. That bends on the body kit is excellent. Short wheelbase Audi. I think my homie Tim Pappas is trying to sell his short wheelbase Audi.
He is.
Oh, you guys know that.
We've seen that car, yeah.
It's at Canepa right now. And
is it?
Yeah.
It's like, I think he's asking for like $750,000.
He wants all the money for it.
Yeah.
But you don't get rich as fuck by not asking for all the money for things. And he's rich as fuck. So
they're pretty rare too.
Yeah.
So that's actually a different car, but
pretty awesome.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
And there's a random Viper that snuck in that doesn't belong. Someone was like, fuck it, I'm going.
You know what? So it's just funny because people get so
who took a rolls in the track? I love you. Sorry, people get what?
Oh, no, our buddies, the Hilltop Motorcom.
Actually, the Rolls was Alan, who runs the Concours de Lemons.
Oh, it was?
That's very
I thought
appropriate.
it was the Hilltop guys.
Yep.
I like it. So people always freak out. They reach out and be like, hey, where are all the domestics at? We're like, well, where are they? Come out. Like, it's not us that's limiting that. Like, as a matter of fact, NorCal, we had a really
cool... LA represented domestics pretty
we
well.
Pretty solid,
right? There was a bunch of Corvettes, and there was a bunch of... I saw a couple Celine Mustangs.
Yeah, we had some Shelby whatever.
Yeah, and those fucking weird Moslers. That's built in Florida.
How's that? How's that for Radwood royalty?
Those Moslers are... Man, they're terrible.
Weren't they successful race cars too? Like they
were such fast race cars.
They do not look like
heinous looking. I don't care how fucking fast something goes if it looks like that.
Oh, dude, it almost it's almost like anthropomorphic. It's like a face, and it's weird. Yeah,
dude,
it's so weird.
And you can't forget our LeBaron convertible was their Arturo rental.
That's right.
The
LeBaron convertible.
Down there.
That car's pretty famous now, by the way. It's been in music
a bunch
videos
of music
and
videos and like a model shoot.
That's hilarious. Can I show you guys something? Speaking of, is that right?
Ooh,
nope, that's not right. Enjoy. I rented my Lambo to a DJ to have it on stage at the Palladium for his concert.
Sick.
On Friday night.
Dope.
And it was hilarious.
What kind of music is it? Like
I can't play it because it's most certainly fucking copyrighted.
It's like EDM or
it's
something?
Definitely EDM.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, how do I
mute?
No. Mute. I muted it. Oh, well.
It's going through.
Like that? Yeah, there we go. So he has these stage, right? And he's got these two big boxes that look like kind of like presents, and he's got a song called "What's in the Box," and this dude's kind of like Frank Ocean, I guess, in terms of like liking 80s shit. So he's got a lot of 80s cars in his videos and stuff. So some point in the show, the boxes lift up, and then boom. There's a pair of Countachs.
Sick.
No, mine is the one on the left, and there's an anniversary car on the right.
Dope. Well, anniversary car is interesting, but
yeah,
but rad concept. That's pretty.
But
dope.
what's they tried to match them like good luck, homie.
Yeah.
Red was the closest they could get to
yeah,
finding two identical cars.
Yeah.
But apparently, it was a great show.
That's
and
awesome.
The car came back fine. But get this, so you can't drive it into there. So they had to take it on a flatbed to GTO Engineering, which is my guys, where they drain all the fuel and fluids out of it, put it back on the flatbed, push it up on the stage, push it back down, take it back to GTO the next day. Wow. And so I got free service out of it too. I got fresh oil filter. Fresh shit. That's nice.
And they paid for it, obviously, on top of the rental fee.
Yeah, rental fee plus service, bro.
How'd you get contacted for that?
They hit me up. Turns out when you put pictures of your Countach on Instagram, they find you.
Yeah, when you're only one of however many in LA, right?
There's only 6 that I know
it's
of
like
in
James,
LA.
right? And then
James, Bryant, a dude named Casey, a dude named John, the owner of O'Gara Coach, and me.
How about the romance novel guy that came to Radwood, LA? Remember the black one that showed up?
That's Casey.
But he's in Arizona.
No, he's not a romance novel.
I thought
he owns a rehab.
No, I thought
Casey owns like a drug rehab place in Hollywood.
I thought he wrote.
So the guy with the black one's
have.
from Arizona. I remember because one of the guys that we know, he works for like Bentley now or something. Remember he approached us at Snow Spring Festival and he said that he told him to come out. He's
the
in
guy who's like
Scottsdale.
6'6", long hair.
Yeah.
When this guy got out of the car, I couldn't fucking believe it. He was so tall and totally chill with driving a Countach. It was extraordinary.
Knees in the air. Huh?
Yeah. He looked like the singer of the Black Crowes.
That's the thing. I heard he writes like how to pick up chicks. Like he wrote how to pick up girls' books or something.
Yeah, he was
15 years ago or something.
He was a pickup artist back in the day. Not romance novels. He was a
not
pickup
romance novels.
artist.
He was a pickup artist.
Yeah, back in the day, and now he runs a drug rehab center in Hollywood.
Wow.
And I think, and one of the things that he does, he drives that car a lot. That car had like 85,000 kilometers on it. He drives it a bunch. He's had it for like 10 years. I talked to him for like an hour. He was real cool. And I think every week or something, like for like rehab patients that like meet their goals or whatever, he takes them to dinner in that
nice.
car.
Oh,
like,
that's
like a
cool.
reward kind of thing.
Yeah, he was
Incentives.
cool, dude. And he showed up. Like James had already left, and then that guy rolls up and he does the back, like sit on the sill, back up in front of the whole crowd.
When you have legs that long, like a body like his or a really short person can do that. I can't actually do it because I have a long torso and short little T-Rex arms. So if I sit on the sill, I can't reach the shifter. So if I put it in gear and I'm sitting on the sill, like, what the fuck do I do now? I can't get it without. So it's kind of a mess. And so I think, Casey, he did it better than I've seen anyone else do it, except Valentino, who was like a boss. Usually when you see someone do it, like it's a video or something, it's like, pay attention to, is anything behind the car? Because people try and play it off like, oh, I can do it with 1 foot. Like I just ride the clutch a little bit. I don't even fuck 1 foot, whatever. And then it's like, well, what happens when you want to hit the brakes? You got to take your foot off the clutch.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
then
was
it's in
wondering.
gear still, and now
that dude backed it up to a wall.
Yeah,
like
he was like fucking Manute Bol backing up a car. He could have been sitting in my car and backed up his car. Right? That guy was giant.
Pretty impressive they fit in that car.
It was
right?
amazing, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he fit. I was like, did you modify the seat? He's like, no. It was all in his legs. He had super long legs and a short torso. His torso was like shorter than mine. Yeah, and his legs were crazy long. So he could just bend his knees up like this, and it was cool. Yeah, I had a friend in college named Alex Havnick who was 6'7". Okay, and then his best friend's name was Jeff, and Jeff was 5'8". And they, as a party trick at parties, they would stand next to each other and change T-shirts, and the T-shirts would fit.
Oh, they're exactly.
They had the same medium T-shirt. Yeah. He motherfucker was all legs. It was crazy, and that's what Casey was kind of like.
That's funny. I just love that did you stand next to him and you guys figured this all out?
Yeah, we talked about it. I was like, how the fuck did you fit in that car? I was like, my head is on the ceiling, and you're 4 inches taller than me.
That's trippy. Yeah, that makes sense.
Fuck me out.
Good math problem.
Okay, so 12 Radwoods international. We're going to Goodwood, and isn't there like 2020 dates for Japan and shit?
We have some of those, and then we also have not LA, but we already have basically Austin semi-locked down.
Yeah, we're going to do same spot at Pacific Northwest again next year, too. It was at the Lemay Automotive Museum. I don't know if you've been up there.
I haven't. I've heard very good things, though.
Really cool space.
Super cool, right?
Yeah.
And they brought some of their cars like out for the show or whatever. They made it kind of a
They
thing.
had a little they had cars up in the little lobby and stuff like that. And
they did bring out a Plymouth Arrow pickup, which is a very special vehicle. We had some really awesome cars up there actually. We had the LM002, of course.
Oh yeah, those are great. Was that Ben's?
I think it was Ben.
Was it Ben?
But
Black?
But Ben wasn't there. Someone else drove it. It wasn't Ben.
Ben has a guy.
Okay, it was
he's got a guy.
It was
Probably
definitely his guy, and that thing's so clean. Like you know that body panel. You're like, how is that thing not
it's
wavy?
Perfectly straight.
Perfectly straight, and it's black.
You know,
dude.
Well, Ben
and he used to be a
owns a
detailer.
detailing company.
Yeah,
maybe still.
Yeah,
I don't know. Shout out to Ben Abrams E-Garage.
Northwest
We love you.
Auto Saloon, maybe.
Auto Salon. Yeah. Good memory. Northwest Auto Salon.
I sold Ben my previous life. I did a carbon fiber steering wheel for his 360 Scud or 360 what is
Challenge
it?
Stradale. Yeah.
And he did his car it was black with gold wheels.
Oh, yeah.
And we matched the the stripe on the steering wheel on the carbon to his wheels, so he sent me the paint in the mail, and so we could paint it on and stuff. And
he has good attention to detail, that guy, and a really interesting car collection. He fucking came down to Dirtfish when I was there doing a thing with Leno's Garage like a couple months ago in the 2-door soft top G-Wagon that has a 7.3 liter stroker Brabus engine in it.
Oh wow!
It's the most ridiculous engine.
What do you do with that?
I don't know. I have no idea, but it's fucking the wheelbase. It's like a shoe.
Totally, they look hilarious. The profile. I mean, Audi Sport Quattros.
I like
funky,
them because they fit in an Instagram square.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
talk about a car that doesn't need power. Like, no, it's just like it does nothing.
I want like a freaking torquey diesel manual of that with like plaid interior.
I think you can get
they
that.
exist. Yeah, they're out there. Yeah, that's my spec.
Except someone has one here, and he was at some fucking show I was at, and it was pretty rough. Like I don't want to say it was crappy, but it was definitely like a high mile used one. And he said it was $35,000. I was like, whoa,
they're money. Yeah, they're money.
Thank you.
There's that place outside of Philly. Remember they restore the G-Wagons?
I can't remember the name
and
of it.
It's the old school ones.
Yeah.
And they do like engine they do transplants. And they make the interiors really nice and everything.
There's did I send that to you, Matt? I don't know if I sent it to Camisa or you, but I was talking about it with someone. There's a Japanese company that restores G-Wagons and W124 wagons.
Oh yeah,
they're so sick, and they actually basically do what we're describing. You know, they restore them, and they all run the those flat disc hubcaps.
Yeah,
like they look so so Euro.
Like the basic ones.
The basic ones, yeah. And they do like plaid interiors, manual conversions, and all kinds of cool stuff.
There's an old Benz guy here in LA, JG Francis, who has some crazy shit. He did that. If you've seen Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee this season, the green one that Jerry bought that he's got on the show. He's got he picks up Martin Short in it.
Okay.
It looks actually a lot like the one from Like it looks a lot like this.
Dude,
from
is
your
that
show,
the one?
but
Did
it
he
was
just
green.
buy it?
He bought it recently.
It might have been the one that came to Vegas.
Oh, that
we
one
had
was
like
so
an
clean.
absolutely impeccable one that came to Radwood Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, we did a Vegas show. There's another one. Forgot about the Vegas show. That one was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I saw that Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee though.
Yeah, it's this one.
It does look exactly like it.
And it looks amazing.
Dude, it might be it.
Wrong picture.
Yeah, because this guy brought one, and it was basically the nicest one we had ever seen. I mean,
this thing,
insane.
I think it was like $100,000.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
but it's the one where those sales like that $90,000 E30. It's like or E46 M3 from last week or whatever, where it's like everything. It's like right history, right color, right spec, right miles, right restaurant.
But now everyone thinks their car's worth $100,000.
No, they're not. This one is. This is like the most perfect spec and the most perfect.
Totally.
And I think it had like 25,000 miles on it.
Is it a manual?
Yes.
Oh, it might be this one then. The one that came to our show even had a matching Cocoa Matte dash cover, which I thought was super rad.
That actually sounds right.
So if he's got that in there, it's got to be it.
I wonder how it came to your show. I wonder who had it. Maybe J.G. Francis brought it.
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, he might have been there. I can look, but yeah. I mean, we have all sorts of cool stuff. Speaking of Benzes, actually going back to San Francisco, our most recent event, we had the first Rentec car ever made at that show.
Really?
We were pretty stoked on that.
What was the first Rentec car ever made?
W201. So it was a 190 Cosworth that started its life just as a standard 16-valve car that was then basically completely gone over. And the car actually does not have the Cosworth 4 in it. It's got an inline 2.6 that's been massaged. So it's a pretty interesting car, and it was built for the
Would that be it?
Let's see, maybe type first one. It's probably the one down there actually.
It's on our Instagram.
It's the one with the big wheels. It's probably the third one over from the top there, I think. Yeah, that one right there.
Oh, it looks dope.
Yeah,
I think it's that one. Yeah,
well, so I'll fuck with that all day.
It's fucking awesome. And so the guy, yeah.
So what motor is it?
So it's the inline 2.6 massage to whatever. I don't know what the
6-cylinder.
Inline 6. Yeah,
inline 6. Yeah. So it's not the. It came with a Cosworth, obviously, and it was built.
And
for,
it's a manual still.
And it's a manual.
That's fire.
Yeah, and it was built for the CEO at the time of the pre-merger AMG North America organization. So it was actually the guys out here, AMG North America president, I guess. And
well, Hartmut, he was with AMG.
He was, yeah.
And then he moved. He started his own thing, which is Rentec, and
right.
So I went to Rentec like 8 years ago. And I remember he had so much cool shit behind his shop that was just all dirty and
it's one of the coolest shops I've ever seen in my life.
And they were doing dyno runs and stuff. And then out back, there's like a bunch of like stuff like that's just like under dust and like tattered. And he just kind of doesn't have time to get to it.
He doesn't have a real him and Steve Dinan.
He doesn't care about old stuff.
He doesn't care about the old stuff.
All about the new stuff.
Important is the next project. The old cars don't matter. Like he'd probably sell you fucking anything back there just to get it out of there.
I remember there was a 500E back there. And it was like one of the first cars that they had done.
Yeah.
And it was rad. It had Rentec, like it had the
like
graphics
the real,
on it. And it was like all the body kits, and they make their body kits. Like they're a really cool shop. They do all the carbon layup and all this stuff.
Yeah, they're thorough.
They're pretty good.
And that's who you would send, like if you don't go to like HG or like that's who you'd send a lot of your old AMGs to.
For sure.
Yeah, and they had a 500E back there just like under like years of dirt, dude. And he just like kind of like, oh yeah, that's like one of it's a car from back then that we built. Like, like just like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like you look at we're looking at it now with like Radwood eyes, and it's just like
I mean, even I was there in 2013 or 14 maybe, and I drove his CLS 63 that made 880 fucking wheel horsepower and ran 9s with a full interior.
Holy crap.
That's ridiculous. And he's there. He's like, the fucking SLR. He had the 3 SLRs, and there's like, they're such pieces of shit. I had to fix them all the time. It was fucking great.
That's awesome.
And apparently he has a mandatory brake upgrade for the SLR. It's like if you have an SLR, like get his brake upgrade.
Yeah, I was there like bringing some carbon stuff for an SLR for Ben Chen.
Ben Chen.
Yeah. It was pre-Mansory.
Oh, yeah, pre-Mansory.
Pre-Mansory body kit. So it was black at the time, and it actually looked pretty good. And then later you would see that car, and it was like all white out, and just like disgusting.
Have you seen a Mansory Bentayga?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I saw one.
It's not good.
I was actually just walking up to one, like trying to take a picture for our feed because it was so ridiculous. I saw one in San Francisco, and as I was about to crouch down and take a picture, the owner comes out, and it was a Brazilian woman who was all decked out in Louis everything and Louis Vuitton like printed sunglasses. You ever seen those?
Fuck out of here.
They're like
on the lens.
On the lens, and she's like, and of course like. I'm like, what do I say? And she's like, what do you think? And I'm like, oh, it's really cool, like very interesting choice, And she's like, yeah, I really like Brabus, but like I thought this was really pretty. And I'm like,
all right, look, I mean, spend your money how you want, but that's heinous.
It's insane.
It's
look, the rear quarter is also pretty gnarly. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is.
I prefer to not have too many Mansory. I mean, it's such low hanging fruit to make fun of Mansory. This is so bad. I can't. Oh, here's a rear Oh, yikes. Is that fucking
good.
real? That diffuser? Oh, my God.
So do you think that stuff's going to be cool in like 20 years when, through, like the Radwood eyes?
You know what? Maybe.
Because
Because it's a lot of that, like that NSX wasn't cool. That's ironic
No,
cool.
it's, just, it's polarizing,
The
right?
second that leaves a Radwood parking lot, it goes immediately back to no longer cool.
Yeah. It's on BAT right now.
Yeah, what
Is
it's
it?
doing.
It'll be interesting to watch.
Is it? Did it just go up?
Actually, it went
Can I
up the other
check? I'm
day.
curious.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look now.
I'm curious to see what it's doing. Yeah,
We don't have a no bring a trailer rule on this show.
Yeah.
we like bring a trailer.
Let me find it. I'll find it for you. Don't worry.
I do want to pimp out the UK show, August
Go ahead.
11th. If anyone, in the UK is listening, you guys should come check it out at Goodwood Motor Circuit. And it's going to be a pretty rad time. You can sign up at radwood.org.
We do, and I have to say that a car, one of my favorite cars that Layne loves to hate that I love,
What's that?
is coming.
What?
A Lotus Carlton.
Oh, yeah.
Lotus Carlton's
I mean,
rule.
they're cool.
I love Lotus Carlton.
I just don't think it's like drool worthy. Like everyone's
It's
like,
so
oh my
drool-worthy.
God, Lotus Carlton. Oh
This
my
guy
God.
gets points for the Nardi steering wheel,
And
which
it's
I
got
like
a
very much.
CT, and it's got power. It's got a
Comtech
CT
supercharger.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you need 800 horsepower to make up for this fucking body.
Dude, the body kit. I heard. Yeah, the body kit weighs 1,500 pounds actually.
the fuck out of here.
Dude, it's all just solid resin.
If you got a Lotus Carlton coming, I'm with you. I like that.
So yeah, and we're reaching out to some interesting folks. I mean, fingers crossed for an XJR12 silk cut liveried car. Are you familiar with that one?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so something like that would be very nice. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff out there. Basically,
You
Euro.
getting the 220s, the Jag 220s.
So
Did you talk to Phil?
I did talk to Phil, and we have a call tomorrow actually to
Great.
finalize some other stuff. But because he's got Caffeine and Machine up there, so
Shout out to Caffeine and Machine.
Shout
in
out
the
to
UK.
Caffeine and Machine.
They're fucking cool. It's like
yeah.
a bed and breakfast, kind of. I think they have hotel rooms, right?
Yeah.
It's a bed and breakfast that's... What? I don't follow you? That's weird. It's a bed and breakfast that is also like a cars and coffee all the time.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
All day, air day.
You been, Matt, or no?
I haven't been, but my homie Phil owns the joint along with Tom Ford, right? Is he the other guy?
Oh, is it really Tom? Like
know who
the
it
Tom
is.
Ford?
I thought so.
Oh, really?
Maybe I might be wrong, but Phil's like the main guy.
That's cool.
And I don't know where he is.
I just
but
like when
this is
you're-
Phil's 220 though.
Totally.
When you're leaving the parking lot, they have a big sign that says "Don't be a dick."
That's very funny.
That's pretty cool. And then it also says, "What is that? What is that one sign?"
Oh, it
Ali?
says money, or I don't know if it's a fat wallet. A fat wallet doesn't make you cool, but ITBs kind of do, or something like
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very good. Phil has really good taste. He ran a Cars and Coffee in Dubai for
wow.
6 years.
Whoa.
And I'm trying to find a picture of him. He's very elusive.
Well, he has his own personal account if you want to find him.
I probably can. Yeah, that's true. But I'm trying to show Caffeine and Machine. So if you're in England, go to Caffeine and Machine.
You should. And you should also go to Caffeine and Machine because we're trying to have like basically a pre-Radwood sort of caravan kind of hang situation there. So the day before, everyone meets up at Caffeine and Machine, and then they caravan down to the Goodwood Circuit, which is in the southwest corner of the country. So it's an opportunity for people to kind of connect and sync up and get in the spirit of radness, man.
Sounds fun.
Whoa, look at my voice.
Yeah. So
Are you guys arranging vehicles for yourself?
not really. We're like all business
Really?
out there right now.
Yeah, do we even have a car to drive around?
Yeah, a van.
Oh, we got a van.
Have you? I mean, I don't. I'm not. I hate when people go, "Well, have you done this?" Do you guys? Did you bother because it's because you're going international and did you bother seeing if any of the Formula One teams that are all based there or anything have historic collections
Yes.
or
We've been
McLaren?
talking to McLaren.
Yeah,
Oh, are they going to bring some stuff?
Possibly, and also
I'm trying to get the Senna car.
that would be
love
awesome. Well, one of them, or an F1. I mean, a GTR would be rad.
Oh, an F1 would be ideal,
Yeah.
but Senna's race car would be better.
That
But
would
I don't
be
know if they'll
kinda cool.
take that outside.
Yeah. You know which one I actually really, really like that they have there? They have that 930 that has the tag V6.
Oh, yeah.
Or the tag, is it a V6 Turbo,
Yeah, it's
right?
a V6 Turbo. Yeah,
that car is badass.
The original one.
The original
that
one that
inspired these Lanzante things.
That's right. Yeah, the original white one that they have there.
I think was a gift to Ron Dennis from
It might have
either
been-
Porsche or Tag.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah, yeah,
Porsches
yeah.
with the tire motors. Yeah.
So what was the other thing we're talking? Oh, Mercedes. So we're talking the Mercedes for Formula One team guys as well. Maybe some
We met them-
Sauber stuff.
That'd be rad.
Yeah.
We met the Mercedes Formula One guys at Sonoma Speed Festival that we were talking about earlier. That event was crazy because they brought out Lewis Hamilton's 2016 car.
Yeah.
And they beat the lap record at Sonoma. and they had the team from the current F1 team, like the guys, like the front.
The jack guy,
and everything, and they were just those guys are just cruising around, like checking out all the cars in our area.
They need something to do.
So I guess
that's right. And so they were. The funny thing is that the way we ended up meeting them is, we did get access to go check out the car like really close and everything, and we talked to the guys there. But after the fact, all of a sudden there's all these Formula One team guys hanging out at the Radwood space, and they're all crowded around the Sport Quattro and the 190 Evo. They're like, "Oh, we love these. We've never seen one up close," And it's just kind of funny how that was. We baited them into the space, and so we ended up talking, and like they're total car guys. They love this era of cars, so it was rad. And
cool.
They're going to actually come out. So
great.
So hopefully we can.
If they have some of their own stuff that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, you know this well. I mean, a lot of the mechanic types just have like something that gets them around that's kind of practical.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, but
in England, especially, it's really hard to like. Have a sports car.
Right.
You have to be pretty rich.
It's expensive.
Gas is really expensive. Yeah. Oil is really expensive.
And there's also all the taxes, right? Isn't it like
I think so. I remember
displacement.
I had to put oil in a press car in England, and I had to buy a quart of oil, and I think it was 18 pounds,
Holy
which was
shit.
like $25, $25.
Holy crap.
And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? It was just regular ass oil. Like I was like, oh my God,
so
this is
part
crazy.
part of buying a car is looking at like consumption of what cars consume the most oil and stuff. Wow.
I guess. It did reinforce like why a car show like Top Gear could be such an important part of the culture, because what car you buy actually is like potentially much more important, like financially or whatever. So I thought that was it was pretty real reality check about the cost of car ownership in other countries. Like I was just thinking about I was talking to my friend Christian about New Zealand, because I was like, he said his parents tried to emigrate to New Zealand like 30 years ago, and he thought this would be amazing. Like, I fucking love New Zealand. I'm like, oh, that sounds sick. And he's like, yeah, but vacationing in New Zealand and like the costs and the annoyances of living in New Zealand, he's like, when you get there, the reality of like what you have to do to get certain things that you thought, you're like, I never thought it would be that hard to get whatever the
tires
fuck,
because you're isolated, right? It's an island, and
every, certain little basic things are like way fucking more expensive. So
Yeah. I mean, but shit. I mean, maybe all the cool cars that you have access to that you don't have access here makes up for all of that. Because,
sure.
Because you have, all the JDM shit, all the cool Euro shit that we can't get. Like, basically everything, right?
There's a balance. There's a balance.
Yeah.
I could never find a picture of Phil from Caffeine and Machine, so I'll just show you Phil's bug. That's probably what he would want me to show you anyway. Yeah. He's got some cool ass cars. Got a 220. He's got a Carrera RS, that yellow one that I think we've seen pictures of. That one.
Yeah, that one.
That's his Carrera RS.
I want one of those.
Yeah. Then he has like what was the other one? 964, maybe a Carrera RS or something.
I think so. Yeah, he was.
He had a couple of Porsches. Good chap. Good dude.
Good bloke.
Yeah. And then he's who Thaddeus worked for in Dubai, and now Thaddeus works for his old business partner.
Gotcha. This is all making sense.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys if you're listening live and you want to get in the super chat, do it now, because I'm gonna close it down in just a few.
Coolio.
What shows are you guys? Let me ask you a question before, like a businessy question. Now that RADWOOD is like a thing, it's pretty known. If you know about cars, you've probably heard of it at this point, which is great, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Are you worried about a potential saturation and like what to do about that?
Totally. Yeah. So I think especially with this year, it's really understanding where the market really is, because of course everybody wants us to hold an event or host an event in their town, right?
Totally.
Everyone reaches out. So it's like being realistic and trying to find the right places and seeing where there is a business case for this. That's number one. So this year is kind of let's go full tilt
like, and throwing stuff at wall, the wall, see if it sticks, kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we've got that going on this year, but next year I think the idea is maybe go more quality than quantity, if you will, and having more of an entertainment
in terms
component.
of cars or in terms of the show?
In terms of
the whole
experience.
thing, yeah.
So it's really going bigger, and it goes with the business case, right? It's really kind of having a wider appeal. Like, then of course the foundation is still going to be the cars, right? It's a car show, but then you add more entertainment elements, right? Whether it be live acts, whether it be performances and things like that. I mean, obviously there's a musical element that's key there, and believe it or not, it's very difficult to get a hold of Sir Mix-a-Lot. We tried.
Is it really?
Dude, we tried from all angles, including talking to his agent and friends, and they all mentioned
people that have worked with him for years.
I know Anthony.
Dude, I should have. Well, we could have tried another angle because we were
maybe
there.
I'll DM him on Instagram and see if he's around.
I
haven't talked to him in a while.
I have his number. I have his email. Like, it's just. But
really?
we
he told me he's with Ben too.
We wanted to do something there in the Pacific Northwest. For example, that's something, right? We could do a performance with him, and he's also a car guy, so incorporating
he's got
some
dope
kind
cars.
of thing, some kind of car experience around him, like things like that. So there are a lot of car personality, musical types that could be cool.
This Joyride guy really likes 80s and 90s cars. You should fucking hit him up for the UK. Sure. I bet he'd be all about it.
That's a good call.
I actually have his fucking manager's number because he called me to get my car.
There you go. Yeah, like Kavinsky, for example, he follows us, and I've just DM with him. He's rad. So there are a lot of these types of things that we want to pursue next year. It's probably not going to happen this year. There are bigger conversations about multi-day events too, right? And so because today at this point it's just a single day event. So,
but as far as saturation, I think we are kind of spreading it out throughout the the world. So
I think by being in LA, I think I see it's very visible from here. So maybe I think everywhere else doesn't see it the same way I do.
It's like we're probably saturated on Instagram and stuff.
But that's true.
But
that's true.
There's still all these people why aren't you guys coming to Cincinnati?
Yeah.
All the time. Come to Cincinnati or come here. So it is a weird balance of that. Why aren't you coming here? And then there's been a couple of copycats that have popped up and they copy our exact thing.
Did you use Cincinnati specifically because of a copycat that's based in Ohio?
There is that one.
There is that one, yeah. And
I didn't know if that was like a whatever. What do you call it?
I was not.
What do you call it?
I don't even.
It's not a low blow. It's
a jab.
A jab.
If I was Mario Lopez, a swipe. If I was
a swipe, exactly.
If I was on Access Hollywood, I would know a word for that.
That was definitely unintentional, but there's these places like that instead of they'll almost write verbatim what we write, but instead of saying this is a rad show, they write this is an awesome show.
Yeah.
And it's totally it's like they just switch up the words a little bit. And
I saw one that was awful close.
Yeah.
And granted, 80s aesthetic is 80s aesthetic, but it was awful close.
Yeah, we don't own it, dude.
No, no one's suing anyone, but it's just
meh.
You can wag a finger.
And it's if we're not somewhere, there's opportunities. But that's part of the reason for us to get out there and spread a wide net too. And then kind of step back and kind of look at what we're doing and reassess. But the saturation thing, I think it really is we are all over Instagram and all the social media and articles because we're doing shows all the time. But really, if you want to go to a show in your town, then we're only going to 10 to 12 places this year, and it's not much saturation.
That's totally true.
We still get people. It's I posted
overrepresented in my personal Instagram feed.
And then a lot of people are why don't you post more? It's or something. And then I'll write the other day I promoted. I just put up a thing for our Detroit show coming up, which is going to be really cool too. Because and it looks like we're going to have FCA involved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Do they have a collection?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, but
it's a good time to bring out Viper concepts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And people are LA ? Are you guys gonna ever come to LA? I'm dude.
Yeah, I mean that happens all the time. Yeah. People have asked me if I'm ever gonna review a car that I had put a video out of within a week.
Yeah.
So not everyone sees and everything. It's just, I guess in hindsight, it's kind of a dumb question because my Instagram feed isn't fucking reality, is it?
No, it's a fair question, I think. And I mean, overall, as a business, it's important to understand oversaturation is a thing. You don't want to just kill the vibe.
Especially because the thing you're doing has this element of irony to it.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a real potential for it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I think you guys will find new ways to make it fun.
Totally, and we're definitely conscious of that. And I mean, this year's been a big one, and I think overall though we're pretty happy with the places we've hit so far. I mean, I think I don't know if we can announce this publicly. Maybe we should. But Vegas was a little bit tough, Like Vegas is an interesting market because it is kind of in an island, Like and you're talking about
not kind of.
I mean,
it is a sand island.
It's a sand island, and then it's an oasis, I guess, right? But then AC.
Oasis is probably the right term.
I mean, aces. I mean, air conditioning is a thing, right? And so these cars, it's a tricky. So all of that starts to add up, and you factor all these
Owning
things.
Owning a vintage car in Vegas, very difficult,
right?
Or Arizona too.
And the roads suck. Like, where are you gonna go drive this car with like 100 horsepower and have fun?
Yeah, there's like one good road outside of Vegas. I think.
Is it Red Rock Canyon? Is that what you're thinking of?
I think so.
Yeah, that's some good stuff out there. So you do. Yeah, there are a few of these that we're gonna have to rethink. But overall, I think we're happy with. We're sort of hitting all the major kind of corners and metropolitan areas. You got your, northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast, and then some stuff in the middle, and it should be pretty good. I mean, people caravan a ton. I mean, even our NorCal event, we had a ton of people from out of state. From of course from SoCal come up and everything. So
up in Pacific Northwest, we had people from this area come up there. So
you got Canada people.
Oh,
too?
Yeah.
Canada
we had a guy.
Couple
RS2s. We had some RS2s, and one guy drove.
Have you done a Canada show? I think Canada would be a good time to an easy international.
Totally.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of demand there, and both Vancouver and well, I shouldn't say both. There's
Toronto,
3 places. Toronto and Montreal and Vancouver.
Vancouver,
I think are big opportunities for
Vancouver
us.
is like my new favorite city.
It's a cool place.
I had my bachelor party there. It was very, very awesome to hang out just to be in that city.
I really like that place. Yeah, it's cool.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
The city planners did a really nice job there. So it's got all the things you want out of a city, but it's also airy. It's the air flows. You don't feel like the fucking thing is crowding on top of you. It's really nice.
Have you been to Montreal? Montreal's a super rad city.
Yeah, Montreal's really fun.
Super
Great
old.
food.
I like Toronto too. I mean, Toronto's like a clean.
Toronto's halfway between the vibe of Vancouver, but it's the biggest one of those three. The biggest, most I don't know, cosmopolitan or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all fun though. Canada rules.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I've only been there once. I did we landed in New York and then drove up to an F1 race back in 2008 to see Kubica win. Kubica win a race.
Yeah,
that drive. You realize how big New York State is when you land at JFK and you're like, we're going to Montreal. Like, that would be your destination is 7 hours 42 minutes away.
Right.
What the fuck?
Well, speaking of Canadians, though, so we got Detroit September 21st. We're gonna hold.
What's the venue?
It's West Riverfront Park. It's right on the water on the other side of the skyline there, and it's been totally revamped. It's all super nice now. There's this beautiful pathway along the river, and we actually one of our backdrops
on the river.
On the river.
Oh, that's bitching. I think that's where I watched Red Bull Air Racing from, in front of the Renaissance Center.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah, and so you have one of the backdrops is the bridge. I forget what it's called that crosses into Canada. So we're expecting quite a bit.
It's called the Bridge to Canada, my friend.
Is it?
I think it is.
The Bridge to Canada. There you go.
Pretty rad.
I think I'm probably going to be fucking hammered for that, but I think it is.
Well, it's the Bridge to Canada for sure. So yeah, that one's going to be pretty rad. We're excited because every region brings in a different vibe. Of course the cars are a part of it, right? And so we'll see what that's
Detroit
like.
Detroit will be hilarious.
Yeah.
When is Detroit?
September 21st.
Oof, that might be worth a fucking flight to Detroit.
Yeah, we'll
Detroit
see.
is really September is a nice time to be in Detroit too, isn't it?
Yep. That's why we chose that time. So yeah,
that could be fun.
Temperature key.
Yeah.
Weather. Yeah. We hopefully the domestics come out in full force finally.
Yeah.
We did have a pretty solid Grand National showing at NorCal.
Oh yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Austin this year was JDM Central.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. All right-hand drive cars.
Yeah.
They must have pretty lax laws.
I think so.
Guess
Totally.
Anywhere where you can just register anything.
Anywhere you can drive with a gun on your hip and go to a drive-through liquor store.
Yeah.
Right. Florida too, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's
Florida is just the land safety inspections forgot.
Yep.
Yes, Florida. You can get away with absolutely anything.
I remember the first time I went to Florida, coming from California, this is a really big deal for people who are not from California. I saw it was an S13 with no bumper, full intercooler sticking out, base almost on the ground, slammed, drift spec, and of course SR20 in there, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was there's absolutely no fucking way you can do that in California. You would get pulled over immediately, and also that whole swap setup is insanely illegal, which is a whole other thing.
They here in Cali, you can do. You can get my friend Sean will do your small bar certificate. It's I think
not for SR20s, unfortunately.
SR20s.
Those are Very.
but my friend
urban.
wants to buy a drift car, and he's got a couple. We went to go look when we went to go sign Delica paperwork, and he has like an old lady's like S13 with the SR20 in it, like totally stock manual. It's like less than 100,000 miles. It's like so fresh.
Yep.
For like $11,000.
Dang,
Awesome.
they're rad. Yeah, we actually the one came out. It was a 180 SX, so hatchback. I love the taillights on those. They've got the little quad things on there, an absolutely impeccable one. Those are so hard to find nice now. You know?
NorCal was great. We had a GTR row. It was 15 or 16 GTRs.
Yeah.
Skylines? Oh, that's great.
R32s, R33s, and an R34.
Here's your 180 SX.
Yep.
I was behind the searching ball.
So that's
on
a
that
US spec car, isn't it?
Oh, here you want the Japanese.
Look at those taillights
one.
Yeah, those are rad. I love those taillights.
The Skyline stock. I'm in the next like 3 or 4 years. I'm totally buying another Skyline.
R34.
R34?
I think I got 6 years until I can get a 34 legally.
Yeah, 99, right?
98 was
98?
first year of production.
Oh, that
yeah,
works
yeah.
then.
It's literally by the build date of the car,
sweet. So
not by the model year.
Dope.
No, it's build date of the car.
They're gonna be $200,000 by then.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And the 32s are like 85% of the driving experience of the 34s.
Yeah.
34s are just like nicer.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you get a 6-speed.
Yeah.
Which is better.
Yeah.
How about a 33?
I've only driven a 33 for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Sean, the first batch of 30, you can get a 33 non-GTR now. GTRs are a few more months.
Okay.
And Sean's got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them sitting in his opposite warehouse in Japan. And then when they become legal, he ships
dope.
them over.
I love them.
Which is great. And so he said I can have a go in one for a day or two when they come over.
Yeah.
But I've only spent a few minutes in one, and they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
The cabin is a lot different.
I moved one around at Sonoma. Scott Colin brought one. And that thing's big, dude.
It's a big car.
Yeah,
it
like
feels
sitting
big.
in it feels like you have all this space. And being
part of that is that it's right-hand drive,
That
and you're
is
just
part
not
of it,
used to that.
Right.
But yeah, it's 33s feel a little bigger. The 32 doesn't feel that big once you come to terms with the fact of where you are.
Yeah, 32s look small too compared to
They do, yeah.
Well, they're
yeah.
150 pounds lighter. That's why everyone freaked out about the R33. Not necessarily more power, blah blah. Have you look up a 400R? Are you familiar with that?
I remember it.
That's one of my favorite Skylines. So that
I
thing is
remember.
so dope.
I remember someone did like for like Evo magazine. This is it. This is the photo from Evo
So
magazine.
sick.
From the Evo magazine review. Look, watch Evo drive. Yeah, there it is. Huh. I think it was Jethro. I think it was either Jethro or maybe Henry Catchpole. That come on, you fuck that did it. So that's a good looking car, right
They're
there.
so badass. Yeah, especially
those wheels rule.
Yeah, multi-piece. I think are they Weds? I can't remember.
They look like maybe Work.
Oh, they could be Works.
Workmeister,
Yeah, they
Work
look
or
like
whatever.
Work.
They're those 3-piece designs, 5-point star. They're just great.
Oh
looking
wait, are
wheel.
they Impulse? Maybe they're Impulse.
I don't know. Someone's screaming at their computer right now.
Look at that profile. Look at the. Oh, there you go. That's good too.
Sheesh, that looks fire.
Those are good. I love the rear
Here's one
taillights
for
on
sale.
those too.
Let's see if it's got the specs.
How much?
We'll get this. How much is this? 58,000 kilometers, 85K US dollars.
Damn, that's
Can we
cheap.
get the wheels?
Boom.
Well, it just says Nismo. I wonder who makes them. Oh, wait. What do you think that says? I
Small.
don't know. We must zoom in. Oh, here we go. Enkai? No. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Small.
This is as much time as I want to spend on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get to some questions. I'm all
do
about
this.
those Skylines, and I can't wait to drive a 33.
Dope.
Eric says, does any air-cooled Porsche have a decent enough driving experience to cost ratio to make it worth getting into, or is a GT3 always the right answer to questions of Porsche? Well, hang on a minute. There's a lot to unpack in that statement. Does any air-cooled Porsche have a decent enough driving experience to cost? I think what he's trying to say is the premium you paid for an old air-cooled Porsche worth it for the driving
So he's
experience, or should he
saying
just buy a GT3?
He's saying at $50,000, is that a $50,000 driving experience, or should you, or at 70, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's so many. So I mean, I'll tell you, 911 SC at $30,000, absolutely. right? Like you can G50 car, 50 grand. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's there. 964 is gonna kind of bump up a little bit, and you start getting into
964 at 60. You're pushing it, but it still feels pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And
Not that fast, but well made.
Dude, it has that door ping. I mean, it depends what you're looking at, what you're looking for in a car. I mean, the water cooled stuff definitely got like mass produced, and it doesn't. When you close the door, it doesn't feel as special as a G body 911 or any older 911. So
the thing about an air cooled car is it's a totally unique experience, and so it's unlike driving other cars. So if you haven't driven one, you got to find a way to drive one.
Yeah.
And typically that's going to mean going to an old car dealer that has one, pretending you want to buy something they have, and taking it on a test drive. Because if you drive one that works even reasonably well, you're going to go, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is a thing I might like to pay for.
Yeah.
And if you go, oh, well, actually, I don't really like this sensation, and I don't like these weird pedals, and I don't like not having power steering, then just buy a GT3. There's nothing wrong with a GT3.
No, that's fantastic. And it is a very unique experience, and it's as analog as it gets, is I think where you're getting at there with the steering, and the braking is as analog as it gets. It's all you. It's barely boosted, so all that, definitely all those sensations make it a pretty special experience.
That makes panic braking really fun when you have a safari car, by the way.
Oh, well, I bet.
With that extra rotating mass in those tires.
Oh, man,
panic on the 405.
So one easy way to do that is Haggerty Drive Share, right? They have those cars.
They do.
Yeah.
I think they do.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at their fleet recently.
I don't know about Turo, but I'm sure Haggerty Drive Share has some.
Yeah, definitely.
Or just find a friend. We have a guy who goes to all the RADWOODs. Bad Rabbit Habit, shout out. But he's all into like turbo cars and all this stuff. He told me at RADWOOD over the weekend, he's like, dude, I kind of get the 911 thing. I drove he drove some 80s 911. He's like, I want one now. Like, he's like, it's not fast, but I get it.
Yeah, it feels like a very precisely made machine. Like the engineering tolerances of it are really tight. And having owned a bunch of cars, I've now owned like 5 cars that were built between 1987 and 1990. Like all built, all from all over the world. And like my Mustang was unbelievably shitty compared to what the rest of the world was building.
Right.
The 911. It was at the time they were selling it, it must have seemed so ancient, but now it has such a wonderful permanence about it because that galvanized body, like it's fundamentally like it could be a 1,000,000-mile car if you keep it running. It just feels that well made.
Yeah.
And the Skyline is like, holy shit, they were building this and wouldn't sell it to us? The Skyline, an R32 feels like a 2013 BMW 335 in performance. Yeah. And it's fucking ancient. You can't believe how good they are. So.
Also, on the other end, I know we want to move on from this question, but have you driven an MFI car, like a 74 or 75 Carrera?
Probably, but not a stock one.
That's the best 911 I've ever driven.
Same here. And so it's basically a 73 RS with a G body on it. So, with the impact bumpers.
210 horsepower. Like 2,300 pounds.
But that engine sound and the mechanical fuel injection and blah, blah, blah. But the main thing I was going to say is on the opposite end, when they were selling that, it's unbelievable to see what they were selling in 73, 74. And you get into that and it's like a fucking, it's so well engineered. You're saying it's so well done. The shape and the design and the performance and everything. It must have been like a rocket ship, compared to, something that was, think of anything that was sold 74, 75.
Those are $200,000 now, but
and my Porsche and my Lambo were built in the same year, and the Lambo was double the price of the Porsche, and like. Yeah, it's crazier, but like the Porsche's much better made.
Right.
So let's see. Jason says, "Long live Zranon."
Oh, ZR Nunn.
ZR Nunn.
Do you remember that thing, right? One of our co-hosts.
Oh, is that the shitty Corvette?
Yeah. It's kind of like that Viper.
Is it alive?
No, he sold it to a Lemons team.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Perfect. Yeah. Alan says, "What weird 80s and 90s supercars have you never seen at a RADWOOD?"
XJ220.
Have you seen an XJR15 as well?
That's in the works.
Yeah.
Never had a McLaren F1.
I'm surprised you've never had one.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
We've had F50, F40, several.
You can't hook that up?
Yeah, well, that's the McLaren thing right now.
Oh, yeah. In England, probably.
Strangely, we had never had a Diablo until Pacific Northwest.
Really?
Yeah.
And we had a Diablo race car from Cat's Exotics.
I think Diablos are really undervalued at the moment, especially the early cars.
Yeah.
And if you would like, they're a little bit. They're actually a little more temperamental than Countach's.
Really?
Here, a little bit. Because they've got a little more 90s piled up on top of them. I mean, they have a digital climate control that is like, ooh, mine is a knob. I just got a text from Vinny, thank God, because what happened was mine isn't just a knob. It's just a knob with a snowflake on it.
Yeah.
And the plastic got kind of brittle, and the knob got kind of stiff, and it snapped. It's like one of those half circle deals
exactly
in there.
It's
some old shitty knob.
Yeah.
If you want one from Lamborghini, it's $385.
What the fuck?
But fortunately, I have Vinny. And fortunately, we'll check what it also
it's
a
Chrysler.
It's from like 2 Fiats, an Alpha, and the Pantera. So I'm like, yes. Pantera forums, here we go.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then someone offered to 3D print me one. I was like, now we're talking.
That's the jam, yeah.
So anything else from the 80s and 90s that hasn't
like
been
supercar-ish? He asked.
Yeah,
right?
supercars.
How about a Chisetta Marauder?
Oh, dude.
I tried to get one.
That's the ultimate. That and the Vector, which we had in LA.
Yeah.
That thing, that Vector.
They're insane.
Dude, it was on original tires.
Dude,
I had to I had to tell 2 people at Cars and Coffee this past weekend to get new tires.
they were oblivious?
Someone drove not in a Vector, but someone drove up in a Ford GT.
Yeah. Oh,
and parked next to me at Cars and Coffee, and when you open the door to the Lambo, you're looking basically at someone's tire, and I just saw Goodyear Eagle GT, and I was like, oh my God, those are the tires that car came with. And and I had to take the guy aside, like, listen, man, you need to get new tires immediately.
Yeah, that's a car that'll get away from you.
You're in a fucking Ford GT. Yeah. Like, what? That car, you're going to hit a telephone pole
half of those
sideways.
Cars, half of the ones that drove are already toast.
Yeah. On those original tires, when it got the least bit damp, that was the hairiest car you've ever fucking been in. They used to crash them all the time.
That's probably a lot of the problem, though, because a lot of those cars have like 0 miles on them. So
and they all have the original tires. That's how fucking Paul and Roger died.
Yeah,
it's the same exact thing.
Totally.
And I hear all I've ever heard from Carrera GT and Ford GT owners is how great they are on brand new good tires. It's like they're not scary anymore. They're fucking great. Yeah. Justin says, should I get a Range Rover P38 for a daily? Bad idea or great idea?
It's probably an awful idea.
I think that's unless you're a mechanic, I mean, that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Even then, you're going to be constantly messing around.
Buy a 4Runner, dude. Just get a 4Runner. It'll never die.
Yep.
You'll have all the off-road cred, and your money won't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key is daily. It's just not a good daily.
It's not a good daily.
Yeah.
There's that guy. There's a dude, Sam, who's a local by me in Venice, who's got a pair of P38s.
Oh, well, there you go. So he switches back and forth.
That's the way to do it, right?
You could do that, homie. Get a pair.
And he also lives a block from the beach, so he just drives there and back. Right?
He had them parked outside for a while. I was like, unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I wouldn't do that, Justin, but good luck. Keith says, what bad financial decision do you least regret? I bought a Hummer once, and it was a nightmare, and it was a piece of shit, and you should never do it, but I got a real great story out of it. I could also say the entire 1 Million Mile Lexus project.
Oh, yeah. But you don't regret it?
No.
Yeah.
There's I got a 7-page story coming out in Road and Track next month that I wrote with Dave Burnett photographs, and they're just ridiculous.
Nice. Very cool.
I drove that thing once. I drove it to left 3 or 4 or something. Yeah, 3.
Do you guys have a financial decision you don't regret?
Not really. I don't have any. I don't think I have a real bad one, luckily.
I suck. I can't think of anything.
All right. Blunder Crush, what has the best ride of these 3? The BMW 1 Series, 3 Series, a Porsche 997-2 Carrera, a Chevy Volt, or a Cadillac ELR?
The best ride.
Best ride.
I mean, it's what has the longest wheelbase and the softest suspension.
And he says, other than seat comfort, I don't care about interior quality.
Whoa.
An ELR is just a Volt with a different body, right?
Yeah, but it has a better suspension.
It
might have magnetic ride.
And the seats are probably nice.
The seats were nice.
Mag Ride's dope. I like
think
Mag
it
Ride.
has mag ride. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Oh God.
So he just wants does he want just a soft, like comfortable
ride? Yeah. Probably the 3 Series. Probably.
I mean, it's definitely better than a 1 Series. 1 Series shorter wheelbase.
The Volt is definitely an economy car.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Porsche 997 can be pretty good. It really can. If it doesn't have big rims, if it's a Carrera, like it can be pretty good. But I gotta say, I think the 3
firm.
Series is probably the best.
I'd say
Yeah,
3
they're
Series,
well. The 997 is definitely like well composed and nice, but it's
firm.
It's a sports car.
Yeah, it's
Aaron says, "What's your opinion on the BMW M235?" God, we had a show where 4 or 5 different people asked me about the M235, and I
back.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't really love it because I think the 228 or 230 is amazing, and then the M2 is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so in the middle of those two that it doesn't make me happy.
I
Kind
agree.
of doesn't know what it is.
You ever drive a 228i M Sport?
No, we have not, but we can. I mean, it's
Awesome.
basically like E36 M3-ish, maybe?
Speed wise?
I mean, just experience?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. The 4-cylinder makes better power than you expect. It feels really light, which is unusual for any modern BMW.
Yeah.
The steering was super good. The ride was great. And it was like, I don't know, 42 grand or something.
Yeah.
And it was super, super fun. The 235 was like 53 grand.
Yeah, you're
and
getting
it was like faster, but not any more fun.
Yeah.
And more understeery. And then the M2 gets good again.
Yeah, I like that motor a lot. I have it in my X1. I mean, it's zippy.
Yeah. Justin Hobbs, your question I am happy to answer, but not in fucking public. So you can DM me, sir. Or email me or whatever. Get a hold of me privately. Bad Rabbit Habit says, pick one. First gen minivan with mud boggers or a C4 Vet on air ride. C4 Vet on air ride.
You're
100%.
really?
Yeah, I don't want to drive mud boggers.
Dude, that sounds amazing. Lifted minivan? Yeah! Look at that thing.
No, I'd rather
4-speed, fully built turbo on there.
I mean, I don't like Corvettes, but I'll probably take the Corvette.
Corvette on bags. I think a Corvette on bags could be cool in an ironic way.
And a just slow ride. Take it easy.
Totally.
kind of thing.
Mr. Robinson 12 says, I just bought an 01 Lexus LX 470 with 233K miles, partially inspired by the million mile Lexus and a love of Land Cruisers. Love the LX 470.
Dope.
It's a good
Love
car.
it.
Good
Those
truck.
are great.
Steven says, I have a 91 Civic wagon. Should I put a B16 and LSD in it or sell it and get a Fiesta ST?
Very different experiences. I mean,
How much do you want Bluetooth?
yeah.
Do you want push to start? Do you like heated seats? Things like
Yeah.
that?
If you want modernity, definitely Fiesta ST, right? I mean, but
Like those Civics are real fun, and a B16 and LSD makes it even funner. And they're like great toys.
yeah.
But like a Fiesta ST is like that's your car.
Yep.
Yeah, it's your daily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more. Yeah, it's definitely the modernity thing, right? Because I mean, a Civic wagon's rad as hell. It has a ton of rad cred. That engine is killer, and I mean, it's gonna be rattlier. It's gonna be tinnier, but it also has a little bit of a race car-esque kind of element because of that setup. So it's definitely. I agree with you. Toy.
Do you want a toy or do you want a car?
Yeah.
You know, if you want a real car, you get a Fiesta ST. If you want a toy, you can build a hot rod Civic and it'll be rad.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's the question you really need to answer, because you're not gonna get a race car vibe from a Fiesta ST, and you're not gonna get fucking heated seats and air conditioning and things you might actually want in your life.
Yeah.
Like I have air conditioning in my 911 and it works. It does blow cold air, but if I'm driving in traffic or whatever, it's the difference, because I have like a cammed hot rod engine.
yeah.
You know, I can tell it makes the response, so I don't use it unless I'm like cruising on the highway.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, ugh, I wish I just had a car where I could hit 68 and then never touch it again. You know, and I kind of miss that.
And it's also, the Fiesta's gonna be a car you can just like drive to the airport and you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Wiley says, besides being able to heat just the backrest apart from the seat and the LTZ. Wait. Hang on a second. Oh, the short version of the question is, are there any redeeming qualities about the 2008 to 2013 Chevy GMC 1500? I mean, I'm sure it can do truck things.
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
some redeeming qualities.
Good truck, and it's probably like pretty affordable.
Yeah.
I think I don't particularly like that generation of them.
Right.
It's like we had one at 13 at Gotham, and it was we had a single cab, short bed, dually 3500 with the Duramax and the Allison gearbox.
That sounds fast.
It was fast as fuck.
Yeah.
And you put one of those Banks tunes on it.
Oh, dude.
Yo, it mobbed. This thing probably ran like 12s.
I bet, dude.
It was so fast.
Just torquey as hell.
But it rode like an ox cart.
Oh,
it
shit.
was horrible. But
Yeah.
when it was towing, it ruled. I mean, I don't know what you want us to say. It's not my favorite generation of those trucks, but I think the redeeming qualities are like.
Dude, it's a good truck.
I
mean,
still see them all over the place.
Trucks,
It's
I
a
don't know.
truck.
To me, like a lot of trucks are just trucks. You know, it's like, what's your affinity to that brand? Do you want a Chevy? Do you want a Ford? Do you want a Dodge? It's like they all kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's funny though. You see them now, like even the newer ones. They're like driving down the road and they're like squeaking and rattling.
Yeah.
And the beds are shaking around. You're like, oh yeah, it's still just a truck, right?
That pickup truck battery. When that started happening with my Raptor, it was like time to sell.
Yeah.
I was like, this is getting too trucky for me.
Yep.
The Saints got shafted says, should I get a Terminator Cobra versus an LS3 C6 Corvette for my first fast car, daily with moderate track use, not at all married to either brand? I would say Corvette 1,000%.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But for daily though, visibility and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I mean, I think if you sitting in and it's comfortable for you, I think. Well, if you really care, you do have options for changing the seats in Corvette, which made you. The Terminators are.
I mean, they're. Yeah, I know what you're gonna
feel
say.
old, man.
They're shitty.
I drove
cars,
one recently. Like they're not good.
I mean, as you know, the Corvettes are known, like the seats kind of suck.
Yeah.
But like that body style Mustang, like those
That's
things
pretty bad.
really suck.
They're
And
really cheap.
You sit so high in them, and you're like kind of like.
definitely
I have
sit
a
on
long
them.
torso too, and I'm like. And I remember just sitting in them, and you're like, dude, does the seat not go back further? There's like tons of room. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing?
Yeah, the seating position in those cars is really, really poor, and you have to reach real far for the shifter. It's a really big reach unless you're short. Honestly, and
as crappy as like Corvettes are, you're starting at a higher price point. It's like it is a better.
it's a better made
it's
car.
a better made car,
yeah.
you know. And you're
Yeah.
with the Mustang, you're starting with a at the time like a base one was probably like 17 grand or something. And,
Yeah.
and
Same interior. Right?
Just, yeah,
I mean,
it's the
look,
same
they were
thing.
Terminators were cool. Like
They
if
were
I
cool.
see someone in a car with a Terminator, I'd be like, cool. But like daily, nah, not. That's a 17-year-old Mustang at this point. Like, let's not
very
do
good
that.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great for what it was, but time has moved on, and that car has not. Anna Ruck says, New Zealand is Japan's car graveyard, so everything is here, but Euros aren't as viable because of parts costs, because we are in the butthole of the world. Our 93 fuel costs $6 a gallon, and E85 is difficult to get. GT4s and GTRs, though. Thanks for the update to the state of the car market in New
Nice.
Zealand.
All right.
Wise Guys Are Us says, what would you do to a 2004 Lexus LS 430?
drive it.
Drive it, make
Yeah,
it
just
real
drive
nice.
it.
I wouldn't do anything.
No, you wouldn't. I wouldn't mod it at all. I keep
No.
like the big little wheels, big tires. Like just put some good Michelin's on it. And
Yeah,
roll.
I wouldn't put rims on it. I wouldn't
No.
want to do anything that like compromises the ride quality. And if you did, like, if I really had, like, I would put some airbags on it so I could drive it, you know, at a normal height with ride quality, and then I could I could slam it. Like, nothing wrong with a Lexus on bags. I'd fuck with that. But if it was me, I'd make it as close to mint condition as I can and drive as many miles as I can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last question, and then we're going to kill this here show. Ford Sony 13 says, what 80s car would you love to daily for a year? It's a good question,
Just a
actually.
year.
A year's a good amount. Good amount. You don't have to commit too hard.
That's right. Yeah. So you can deal with some compromises.
Yeah,
That's
it
what's
can
going
be a
on
little
here.
bit off.
And you said
Yeah.
80s or 80s, 90s?
You said
I've
80s, yeah.
actually been considering one that I might like to try dailying, and I
Interesting.
probably won't because I don't think the seating position is going to work for my needs for actual dailying.
Okay.
But I've been considering Ferrari 328s.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they had figured that formula out by then, and those cars, when maintained, are particularly reliable.
Steering wheel tilt.
A little bit Grumman
I can't
pedal
remember.
truck.
Is it the same? I
It's
can't
a little
remember.
tilted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Dude, yeah,
tilted.
you drive like this.
It's a little tilted, but the driving position is a little better when you're actually sitting in it than it looks like it will be from the outside.
I see.
But I don't think I actually want another manual daily. I think I'm getting a little old, and I can have manuals on weekends, and I think I want. Look at this shit outside. I think I want an automatic daily.
Yeah. It makes sense for that kind of thing.
I ran
yeah.
errands all fucking day before the show today, and the Delica is sitting somewhere because I don't have tags for it yet, and I almost just drove it around just to drive stick anyway.
Yeah, you're
and I was like, fuck it, I can't drive any more stick.
Yeah.
But, what about you? 80s car daily for a year?
There's so many options. I don't even know where to start. I'm like trying to think
a
Delica
would be a cool thing for a year. Dude, I don't know. A Range Rover, maybe.
Oh, like a country, like a country classic, or what are they called?
Range Rover Classic or something.
That's a cool one. That's a good choice. Yeah, because you don't have to commit to all the reliability and all the madness, right? So that's a good one. That's a good point.
348. I mean, that's
exactly. I think that creeps into the 80s, right?
I mean, whatever. I'm thinking 80s, 90s Radwood era, but
right. I would want to go similar to it in Matt's vein. I would want to go Testarossa. I feel like it's just because 1 year, super wide body, but it's just so ridiculous, like the whole fanfair of it. Like, it's just so, it sounds super fun to me.
I went to England and filmed the Testarossa, that Radarossa thing was a piece of shit, and it was surprisingly not a piece of shit, but I drove it around all day, and I was like, this is actually kind of nice.
Yeah,
it's not so bad.
Ton of torque. I mean, and
pretty comfy.
Not a lot of overhang on the front, so like it seems like you can get in and out of shit
pretty easy to drive. Not annoying.
I think that would be rad, actually.
I had a mini panic attack right there because I actually accidentally closed the fucking live streaming window. And the good news is it keeps going. But I had a panic attack. Nice. But it's all good. Sweet. All right. What do you want to plug before we get out of here? The England show?
England, August 11th, radwood.org. You can go sign up for all of our shows for the next year.
I don't have your fucking website up, but Radwood Official on Instagram. Yep. I had your website up before, but I used it for some other thing. Oh, here we go. radwoodco.schedule.
We're on Instagram every day and posting all the events and stuff like that. But
here it is. Here's your schedule, folks. Screenshot that shit. What do we got? July 27th, NorCal. That was last weekend. August 11th, UK. August 16th at Legends of the Autobahn at... Where is that?
Yeah, that's in Monterey Car Week. So
sick.
It's Legends of the Autobahn. We have this is actually a cool one. We didn't talk about it at all. We have our own basically area there, and we are allowed, it's a Audi Club America, BMW Club America, Mercedes Club America show, but we are allowed to bring any European cars we want. So we can bring your 80s, 90s Alphas, your Lancias, like whatever you want, your Saabs, your Volvos. Porsches, so we can steal cars from like Works and stuff.
Nice,
and we can make it into a full. It's going to be as good as you guys signing up for this show. So I think that'll be a really fun one. It's during Car Week, and there isn't really a place for a lot of those cars to go. So it gives all these cars a place to go.
What day of the week is that?
It's Friday.
Oh, perfect. That's great. September 21st is Detroit. October 12th is Boston, and then November and December is Florida and LA. Exact dates TBA. Obviously, December is going to be the day after my birthday, as is tradition, right?
That's right.
I got a fucking crown now.
Yeah, where is that thing?
The crown?
Yeah, it'll kill you if you wear it.
The crown is on, cut my head. Yeah. The crown is sitting on the Predator's head in my kitchen right now, and the metal thing that you made is still hanging in my bar.
Nice.
I'm gonna move it to the building when it's done, but I look at that. Frankly, every time I take a bong hit, that's where I go, and I look at that, and I look cool as fucking.
I like it.
Coogee sweater.
You should get Jonathan Ward to do like a little, like a padded leather. What is it called?
Sick.
Interior to
for the crown.
He made me a business card holder for the new shit.
I saw that. Yeah, you posted on Instagram.
Yeah,
right?
it's amazing. Check out, if you guys are in LA, of course, my new business, my new shop, Westside Collector Car Storage.
Oh, a little animation.
Solving the parking problem in West LA since hopefully October 1st of this year. We have 130 indoor climate-controlled collector spaces with battery tending included. We have free LAX shuttle service, and my building is a fucking bomb shelter. And I have a video about it that you can watch on YouTube that has, I'm shocked because it's a video I put out not about cars, and it had 120,000 views.
Nice.
Last time
I watched it. It's super interesting.
I'm nerding out on the concrete.
It's super cool. I forget what the movie is called, but there's this movie that came out a couple years ago, and it was all about he's like, do you remember this movie? He's in a BMW in England, and he's just driving, and he's concerned about the poor. And he keeps going, the poor. You know, it's what's his name? It's
you're talking about. It's like
he has the big lips.
Actor,
dude.
Oh my gosh,
I'm such an idiot.
It's like drive or it's a single word, right?
It's not.
It's all in the car, and he's like he like hooked up with this chick, and she's like having a baby. And all he's concerned about the poor, and he's just talking about the poor.
On the days when they poured, I was like freaking out.
And
about
I thought about, because when I was watching your video and you're talking about, there was like how many 75 trucks you said or something.
100 trucks on the first day.
100 trucks. They all had to time it perfectly to like. And
it's super wild. Keep stirring it and shit. It's so crazy.
And then you think about that, like the way you were talking about how they test it and everything. Imagine if you fucked up, dude. Like, imagine if they go and check it and they're like, "Oh, dude, this shit's all porous."
It happens.
And it's like fucked.
Dang.
And now you have to go rip it all out.
Like, if you have like rain or really bad weather after a pour, like you can be fucked. And so they were really like, because we had to wait to do the big pour, like for like 4 weeks. And no, not the big pour, the deck pour.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
The deck pour was like we had to wait, and I'm like, oh my god, every week we're not open, it's just like burning money.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah,
you gotta do it.
They're
right?
like, you don't want to have bad concrete. If you have bad concrete, you are fucked. And so, all right,
especially
really
here,
cool.
right? Seismic activity.
No, we have the best concrete.
I can't wait to see the podcast studio. I mean,
the new podcast studio is going to have a view.
Nice.
It's going to have a view of the inside all the cars.
Oh, right.
And I came up with a new idea. I didn't come up with it. I met with someone today who was very smart and came up with a fucking genius idea, and it might have cost me a lot of money because now I can't stop thinking about how cool it would be to do his idea. He wants to have a catwalk come out from the members lounge out over the cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, and have
Canepa style.
And then I said ... and have a poker table at the end of the catwalk.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck! Now I have to buy this.
Hey man, it might get you a few members so it'll pay for itself, right? So
all right. That's all for us right now. We got what do we have tomorrow? We have a show tomorrow with Oh, come on. Oh, Ad Armor with these guys who make bulletproof cars.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, Ad Armor is going to be tomorrow at 5 Pacific. Zach is going to be in studio with me. And we're going to be talking to these dudes who build bulletproof cars. This should be kind of interesting. I'm about it. Art?
Yep.
Layne? Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
I hope I get to see you guys before my birthday.
Yeah.
But next time you're in town, come back. Bring the others with ya.
Let's do it.
That's all, folks. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. You just need a microphone, a connection to the internet, and ideally something to say. Goodbye, folks.
Peace. Later.